Bom dia a todos. Em mais uma das atividades da nossa Semana Internacional. Esse é o nosso terceiro dia e gostaria de lembrar que todas as atividades elas dão direito a certificados e estão gravadas no link do YouTube do CEFET-MG, que pode ser acessado pela página da SRI, que é sri.cefetmg.br. Eu gostaria de agradecer nesse momento a diretoria geral, que sempre nos apoia, nos incentiva, a SECOM, que é a Secretaria de Comunicação, na pessoa da Brígida, que fez toda a nossa arte e identidade desse evento, e do Júlio, que está nos bastidores nos apoiando. As meninas do curso de hospedagem, na pessoa da Maria Luísa, que também está nos bastidores hoje, e todos os outros setores que trabalham junto com a gente. Especialmente nesse momento, eu já convido a professora Cristina Roscoe, do campus Varginha, que sempre ativa e uma parceira maravilhosa nas atividades internacionais.
Cristina, perdão, mas a outra Cristina caiu.
Acho que a conexão, ok. No problem. Enquanto ela chega, né, eventos online tem essa questão, né? Não atrasa avião, não atrasa ônibus, mas às vezes cai, em breve ela já deve estar aí. Já chegou, que bom. And so, Professor Cristina Roscoe Viana is a full professor of biology at CEFET-MG Varginha, as I told you. She has both a master and PhD degree in science and 28 years of experience in applied research and education, mainly in high schools. Dr. Viana has expertise in microbiology focused on sanitary engineering, environmental monitoring, biotechnological process, molecular biology, quality control, as well as experience in ISO certification. She, as you can see, she is she goes very deep in this subject. And since 2016, besides research projects, he has been working to create opportunities to integrate Brazilian high school students, the international community, because she thinks it will have a strong importance in students' personal and professional lives. What I can say is that CEFET institutional political, international is political, agree with you, Cristina, and you are very welcome to work with us. So from now on, I let Professor Cristina Viana to invite our presenters and other professors, and desire you a very good event. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Cristina. Good morning, everybody. I hope you all are well. Thanks for this opportunity to talk a little bit about the internationalization opportunities for high school students from CEFET. I'm very glad to be here today. I thank Mr. Schilling, Director of GALESS, an international organization, a global alliance of leading edge school of sustainability. Mr. Schilling, I will give a short review about your profile later on. First of all, I want to introduce Professor Eduardo, who has a great experience in internationalization programs and will be a very important partner for internationalization programs in the future. Eduardo is my co-worker here in CEFET, Varginha. Eduardo, please talk a little bit with our students about the importance of proficiency in English to have opportunities and also to learn more interculture and develop interculture and skills.
Okay, thank you, Christina, for the opportunity. First of all, I'd like to point out that it's a great opportunity for the students now that we can also try to offer this kind of exchange programs to high school student levels, because normally we institutions such as CEFET and many others only offer this kind of programs to graduation levels or post-graduation levels to different parts of the world. But having the opportunity of being abroad, of getting to know another culture, another language, improve your own language, the language that you want to learn, like as a second language, in another country, it's a great opportunity, and I'm glad that we can have this in CEFET, and we can expand this and open new doors to our students. Uh, it's important for them that to understand it's not something that will happen overnight. They will not get like certificates, or they will not be prepared overnight just to go abroad because there is an opportunity. They do have to prepare themselves. They do have to work a little bit harder before uh, enjoying the opportunities. But the opportunities are there. Okay, so they have to get a hold of them. So the ones that really want to expand their knowledge, to one day maybe work and abroad and have a family in another country, will do have this opportunity. So whenever you have a chance, if you are a high school student now in CEFET, please be careful and take a look at all the possibilities that are going to be offered through international certifications, so you can be able to join and perhaps go to the Netherlands, okay, where you can go and you can meet Miss Henny there. So it's one of the best countries I have ever visited in my life. So please don't miss this opportunity. And in terms of learning the language, also CEFET offers a couple of opportunities for you guys. Not only the regular English classes that you have with your teachers, but also through Fundação CEFET Minas, which is CEFET's foundation institute that supports and offers courses in different languages, not only English, but of course here we have to uh, uh, to wait more a little bit to the English part. So you do have the courses there. You also can take some certificates there at Fundação, such as TOEFL or TOEIC. But you can also take different certifications, such as Cambridge ones. But you do have to be prepared, because some institutions, when you go abroad, they do ask you to have these diplomas or certificates beforehand. So when you go, they know exactly what kind of level you have, or if you are able to participate and able to be part in all the activities and the classes that are going to be offered in those other countries. So take the opportunity, and let's see now. Let's hear Mr. Hubert Schilling so with his points. Thank you, Christina. Thank you for the opportunity, and let's see if we can get more and more people going abroad and visiting other countries.
Thank you, Eduardo, for the remarks. And the first opportunity with this cooperation of Mr. Schilling, GALESS, started. I will show some slides. It started in 2016. It was the beginning when a research project of 4 CEFET students was selected for presentation in Waters Life Conference hosted Maui College in Holland. In this picture, you can see our students with Holland students and their certificate of participation in its very productive conference in the Netherlands with the support of the organizers. And we continue after this conference. We straightened our relations and we decided to develop internationalization programs, 1 week internationalization programs. So in 2017, CEFET-MG host this program, which CEFET students from Varginha, Belo Horizonte, 2 Maui College students and 1 teacher of Maui College traveled to Brazil, and we have a program with culture and scientific visits and scientific presentations. It was very productive. We have a great feedback from our students and teachers involved. And this program was developed together with the cooperation of International Affairs CEFET Office. And our cooperation continued, and in 2018, 2 research projects of the CEFET students was selected to be presented in the Waters Life Conference in Japan. So 2 students traveled to Japan to present their research. And also, besides research, internationalization programs and conference has also intercultural skill development and other important for life abilities. And our cooperation continues, and you have a bigger group in 2018. Internationalization programs, we are proud to receive again 6 Holland students and 2 teachers from the Netherlands. In this picture, you can see again, we develop not only scientific program, but also culture program. Here in this slide, you can see one of the students exploring a mining in Ouro Preto, where slaves explore gold in the past. And you learn that slaves in Brazil, they are very intelligent and they have great skills for mining, and they are specifically selected for that. So you connect scientific, culture, and human behaviors and human feelings developed during this internationalization program. Unfortunately, on 2019, we are prepared to travel to conference in 2020, but due to the COVID pandemic, the conference in US, it was canceled. But even though you participate in some way, sending to US students a Brazilian stone, a natural Brazilian stone, to compose a coral reef that will celebrate this moment of world cooperation in 2020. Despite the pandemic, during 2020, we are developing skills in remote education, and you prepare for online conference that GALESS, Mr. Schilling is going to talk a little bit, GALESS organized in a remote way. So in 2021, GALESS proposed a challenge called Medical Call for CEFET students to join this initiative. This initiative had the participation of 20 countries and 24 schools all over the world. At the same time, GALESS also give the possibility of CEFET-MG develop a program called Exchange Letters, in which 52 students from 60 countries joined. It's all a network provided by GALESS. And in 2021, this connection, this network also allowed CEFET participation in work together with a US school coping with COVID, and also almost 30 CEFET students joined the International Olympic Games promoted by a Japanese school called SOLA. In 2022, some CEFET students also joined SOLA, and now we are preparing to present 2 research projects in online international conference, Water is Life 2022, and Mr. Schilling is talk about the perspectives of future and the opportunities of international cooperation. First of all, I will introduce Mr. Schilling. Mr. Schilling completed his studies in mathematics and physics at Fonts University in the Netherlands. He worked as a project leader for a Dutch government and IT companies, and worked for many years at Maurity College. At Maurity College, Maurity College is a high school located in Holland. He worked there in technological support, coordinating international activities, and supporting many researching projects focusing in multidisciplinary sections. Since then, has been established a great network connecting people all over the world and supporting different initiatives of for teenagers. Mr. Schilling, please, you can continue.
Oh, thank you, Christina. Well, first of all, thank you very much for all the compliments that came in from you just a minute ago, but also the nice words from Eduardo about Holland, about the fact that you have been to Holland, that is a great country. Let me introduce myself. My name is Hubert Schilling. I'm one of the founding members of the new GALESS network. GALESS network is there since 2 years now. GALESS, the Global Alliance of Leading Edge Schools for Sustainability. A school network, where we try to work together with young students in nice questions, nice research options that we share together during research activities at the school itself, but also in the end during nice meetings like virtual conferences, and now I will tell you shortly about this here, now back again to also live conferences. I'll start up my presentation here. There it comes here. Surpassing borders for knowledge exchange, a cooperative world and collective creative solutions. That nice words, I think, to say to students, listen, it will be necessary, for many reasons, to work together cross-border in nearby future on many subjects to have a look at. Each and every problem in this world has to be connected these days with problems that can be translated in different countries, and then should be brought together, just to see how we can anticipate complex problems, a little bit more in nearby future. And we need the young students from these days. We're talking about our target group, students from 16 till 19 years old. We need them, just to collect this information together with each other, and also to work together then and see if you can share some nice solutions. And that's what GALESS is all about. Basic thinking is to bring students from the world together in research questions. I will go to my next slide here. You see, by the way, that we can be addressed at the internet at www.galess.org. GALESS with double S. And you can see a little bit more about our website over there. What I said, the understanding of these problems, requires to set aside our differences, first of all, and also to value the strengths that different cultures bring to the table. What we see is that different cultures don't have borders or something like that, but different cultures can work together on their strengths, on their particular strengths. The personal strengths that comes forward from different cultures, brings us to many nice and better solutions together. And that's what we try to aim in our network. We have, talking about the way that our network is organized, a short slide here telling you that we have a directors team, 4 members, 2 members from the Netherlands, and 2 members from Spain, from a school close to Barcelona. We have on the right upper side the board of our organization, with 3 members from Singapore over there and you see that also Christina Roscoviana is in our board, and we are very happy with her, with all the support that we get from her in former days, and we'll continue to have, I hope. Professor Wim Uiterwaal, the last one, is a professor from Delft University, and those board members are involved in all kinds of jury activities regarding our projects at this moment. And we have a broad session with members of our advisory team. Just mentioned names over here, but I can tell you they are all from all continents, from the USA, from South America, from Europe, from Asia, even from Australia. They are all in there, and they help to develop GALESS as a network furthermore, with more contacts, more new activities, and that's how it is at this moment with our network. The goal, well, we want to introduce young adults, you, 16 till 19 years old, you, to the different cultures and associated norms, raising awareness of the problems of our society and thinking about solutions in order to contribute to the world community as a dignified member. But you see there is a photo that was taken last August. We had the opportunity to bring our last results from our last challenge, our last research challenge, where 24 schools were involved, to the table of our Dutch Minister of Health, Mr. Kuipers. In a short briefing session with him, we talked with him about that what you young adults, you found in their particular countries. There are students here at the table from Germany, from Spain, for example, found regarding solutions in their eyes, regarding the pandemic, because that was the last research subject, the pandemic. How to deal with the pandemic, and from your local point of view, but also from the international point of view. So what we do is not only challenge you to develop research activities, but then bring them together in conferences is one thing, but the next thing would be how to bring your results to the public, to the local authorities, even government authorities, and see if we can assist them in their thinking about these different problems. We have divided our work with GALESS in 5 different main areas. The second one, medical, was our challenge last year. So each and every calendar year, we are changing from one subject to another. The new one that we address is the energy transition for 2023. More about it a little bit later. Life sources, the first one, addresses all the things that have to do with the things that have to do with our food chain, but also about our climate, about the climate resources that we have and how to deal with that. If you talk about empty pocket, we look at the poverty element in the world. We look at how to deal with poverty and maybe help each other a little bit with this kind of research. to be everybody a little bit richer in the nearby future, richer virtually and maybe even in your wallet as well. Colors Included at the end is another program that we introduced, and that addresses the multicultural society, all the problems that we have there, and how to deal and challenge these problems. All other projects that are under the GALESS flag are separate projects, but also very important, like the one Christina mentioned earlier, the project that she developed for 6 countries, exchanging letters, also part of, in the end, a GALESS initiative. The Tilsit Challenge 22-23, and then especially also addressed to the year 23, deals with 3 topics in the energy transition. We say to students, listen, pick up the energy transition in the terms of investigate your country's energy system. Propose a plan for this transitioning your country's energy system away from the carbon-based resources, and then examine the global implications of your country's energy system transition and see how to deal with that. Questions that look to be maybe simple in the way that are put on the sheet here, but when you do some research in this here, it delivers some very interesting sites, without any doubt, looking from the different teams that are going to be involved over there. We have a request to those teams that they write a written report with a word length of 2,500 to 5,000 words. All sources must be acknowledged, of course, refer to that. The word length of the written report must be shown clearly on the report, and then reports that are 10% over the permitted word length will not be accepted. It's a little thing, but we try to make it this way, that the report consists of, let's say, 8 to 10 pages maximum, and that we have a way to publish these reports and to talk about them with people, and that people really take the effort to read those reports also. Those reports can be read on the GALESS website. We have already many on our website. Look at the many choice learning experiences, and then you'll see that many reports have been produced already. And we're also going to publish new reports published in 2023 in the same way on our website. Okay, how about those meetings then? You do the research work at your school. It takes you some time to publish your work. We take a half a year time in advance, to give you the time to prepare your work, to set up your work. And we have, of course, some guidelines for this here in so-called information packages. We have 3 information packages in this period of 3 years, telling you step by step about how a report should look like. But of course, you're free to fill it in based on the questions that we popped. And then we have a following conference. And this conference is normally a conference week. Last challenge was a virtual challenge, but now we are able to come back to conferences again. Talk about it later also. And in this week, we have an opening ceremony. This is the agenda of our upcoming conference in Boston, in the USA. And you see that we are day by day with keynotes, with sessions, but also with excursions over here. We have some possibilities to get to know each other a little bit more and to become aware of what we produce in each other's reports. We have the experience that these presentations are really very, very nice for students. It's a little bit challenging, of course, you have to talk in English. You have to be aware of the fact that you have a limited time, 15 minutes maximum, to present your report. You have 2 important questionnaires in front of you. Jury members, in most cases, 2 professors that will ask you some question after your presentation about your report. So it is really a challenge, but at the same time, students like it very, very, very much, to be in this kind of presentation and all the attention to their report. And we like to proceed it also to do it in this way in next conferences, as you see over here. We have a gala party at the end of the week. Of course, you know, all kinds of, let's say, social activities are also part of the week. Of course, it's fun also to be together, you know. It's fun also to get to know each other, you know. And a full week is basically set in a way that is described over here. How does this look for 2023? Well, we were able a few months ago to talk with some organizers, potential organizers, about conferences that we would like to organize. And the first one who picked up was Mr. Chai Reddy. He's from the Boston Beaver Country Day School. He will organize a conference for teams, school teams, in March 2023. And you see that we have already quite some subscriptions over there from different schools, from a school from Spain, a school from Austria, a school from Japan, a school from Poland, a school from Detroit, another school from Germany, another school from Germany, and a school from Japan. At the same time, there was a second organizer who will also organize a conference about the energy transition, and it will take place in Poland, in Rybnik, in June 2023. There you see that Spain, but also Thailand, Spain, Singapore, Germany, the Netherlands, South Korea, but also South Africa are involved with teams during this conference, and they will present their reports at that time to each other, you know, and do this in this week time, as addressed earlier. And now we see that there are more organizers interested to do this in 2023. So I'm very busy at this moment to talk with two other organizers. One name I can mention, the other one is a little bit secret yet, but will come out end of November. We will publish this on our website. The third conference organizer will come from Bali. They will organize in September 2023. And we open registration end of November for Bali as well. And for the fourth conference, that will be in November 2023, we open this registration also shortly after Bali opening. So there will be possibilities to join up with your school at that time, you know. And I'm going to describe to you a little bit about how to join up and what to do then in this case. There you go. How to apply for taking part in one of those conferences. I have to disappoint you a little bit that Boston and Poland are really full now at this moment. So no possibilities to apply there anymore, but the new destinations, there is a possibility to apply. Find 2 or 3 students willing to write a research project about the energy transition in 2023. Then the research should be guided by a teacher from your school. So there will be a teacher that is guiding the process and guiding your report also. Dedicate your research to energy transition or to live sources in 2024. If you apply for a conference in 2024, and we will publish that in January 2023 already, what will be the destinations for 2024, then redirect your subject from energy transition to live sources. And of course, we tell you more at that time about what live sources is all about and what we see as research areas over there. Find 1 or 2 experts, as we say, with a team they're able to, that you can consult. We call it living libraries. These are people that are in your local neighborhood that know a little bit about, or maybe a lot about energy transition problems and energy transition situations in your particular country, you know, and consult them during your research time. And then apply for a GALESS conference with your team. So your team can be, let's say, maximum 4 students and a teacher. Apply. You can do that on our general email address, info@galess.org. And connect your school name to this here. You want to be able to mention your school also on a conference, of course, you know, and want to do this in honor of your own school as well, I guess. So that is something that you should that you take with you. Then following preparation and guidelines. We have 3 information packs during this research period of time, half a year. So we're in full preparation at this moment with Boston, and we start to the research areas for our conference in Poland at this moment. Attend the conference week, present your work on the conference to a professional jury, and the professional jury will be provided, and then receive a GALESS certificate for your work is what we offer you, and your work will be published in an official book. The last book that we published was in August. You saw a photo in my presentation to the Minister of Health in Holland, but the same book was also presented 2 months ago to the Minister of Health in Indonesia. So we try to challenge schools to bring their work to the local authorities and tell them, please read what we write here, you know, it's our advice about handling this specific problem. And this book will be made available end of 2023. So it is a result of all 4 conferences then at that time. But in total, I guess something like 40 research reports, something like that. And this book will also be made available to you, of course. Okay. I go to my slide about how a certificate looks like. Well, this is a certificate that has been given to a guy in South Korea with this name, difficult name. And you see that this certificate tells something what the jury thought about the report of the team he was part of, the team of 4 students he was part of. So it is mentioned over there. On the left side, it is signed by the local jury members. In the virtual challenge, they were from different countries, but in case of Boston, it will be American jury members there. On the right side, we have the jury board from GALESS that is countersigning this certificate. And the certificate will be published directly after the conference and will be made available for you as well. Okay. So far, I think my presentation about what GALESS is all about. Maybe I should open up now for some questions. Are there any questions in?
Mr. Schilling, there aren't any questions in the site until now. I have some students together with me. I will ask them here in live, and I also have one question. Menino, alguma pergunta? Nenhuma dúvida? Okay, no questions from the students that are here with me, but my questions, Mr. Schilling, because now there are many opportunities for conference. And what do you think about the presence? Because the conference used to have many countries involved, and maybe you give more opportunities, but you divide the public. How do you see that? It's positive or negative?
Well, first of all, I would say that instead of organizing one conference like we used to do in former days with many schools, you see now that we organize 4 smaller conferences in 2023. And the advantage there is twofold. I have to include maybe a little bit the situation in the world at this moment. We are coming back from a pandemic situation. You see, the schools are, and I think they're fully right, you know, they're a little bit careful with organizing new initiatives and also careful with traveling at this moment. On top of that, you see also that they ask us as GALESS organization to watch our footstep in a way that, is there a possibility if we join a conference that we could join a local conference instead of a far overseas conference? That's one of the questions also that has been raised, you know. And to split it up like we do right now in 4 conferences comes in the direction of this question, you know. because what we do is we organize in America, we organize in Europe. You see already that Bali is, of course, located in Asia, and there's not so much imagination there, to know that there are other continents interesting for us, to organize conferences. So we offer schools the possibility to travel overseas if they want to, but if they want to travel locally, and locally is within their continent, that is also possible, of course. The last thing, and we just talked a little bit about that last week, is that you also could ask yourself, is it still attractive to be connected virtually in the nearby future? And what we say that the virtual part of our conference, it is producing a report but not joining a conference, is for sure an option in nearby future. And we have more decisions about that end of December. That's how I look at it at this moment. So we want to our goal would be, to involve as many students as we can, of course, for sure. Yes, involve them in live conferences, because it is so important, so very important for young students to meet each other, to speak with each other, to be in a live experience with each other, to get the experience from each other just by talking, just by informal chat, just by informal meetings also, And we think that is a very important part that we have back in our conferences. But add the virtual part and add the geographical spread that we have right now is something that is good to realize in these times following a pandemic. Is this an answer to your question?
Yes, it's a great strategy, I think, at this moment, because like us in Brazil, we are still readapting to this kind of activities, and to travel overseas for long distance, price tickets, it can be difficult. So despite we split the group, because some students have already asked me, because that's the reason I'm bringing this question here, because they have options and they want to decide in which way they have to go. So we have to look from different point of view, from scientific, interculture, and also the budget.
Okay.
And
talk about that, Christina. Maybe also important to address this, because you're fully right about this here. All those kind of problems related to our energy transition, for example, they have a science point of view, from the scientific point of view, but they have an economical, a political, a social aspect, that is also so important to fulfill a full solution. If you propose a full solution for the problem, how many cases don't we have where the technical solution is there, but politics is just preventing to realize a technical solution, something like that. So we are, from Gale's point of view, very focused on this, we say, multidisciplinary approach in the way that the student will research. Be aware of the fact that your solution is a solution with different aspects, different angles in the way that you do your research. And what you see is that if you make them realize that, young students, then you get the best research reports that you can imagine. And I also want to say that we each and every time are really very, very surprised about the quality of the contributions of the different student teams, as we experienced that in the last few years. The new ideas, the new contributions that they propose, the new ways to direct, are for us really every time again a motivation to proceed, and to keep on asking our young generation for their contribution in world problems. So I would like to address for sure, the fact that this importance about being multidisciplined in your approach, and the fact that you are creative and innovative in the way that you propose different directions, is something that we stimulate at this moment in GALESS.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Schilling, Eduardo has a question. Please, Eduardo.
Mr. Skinning, as here in Brazil, we do have lots of problems to address, such as the environmental problems, the green energy, the sewage systems, and so on. Have you ever considered like hosting a session here in Brazil so we could get more people getting down to Brazil and trying to work out solutions for us here?
Yeah, can you repeat the question exactly? What the question is? Yeah,
If you have ever considered having a session here in Brazil, a conference here in Brazil, so we could try to address the problems we have in Brazil, as Brazil has been in the news recently in terms of all the environmental issues of the Amazon and so on and so forth.
yeah,
Have you ever thought of it?
Yeah, sure. And even talked about this sometimes about being able to come to Brazil and organize the conference over there. I would be delighted, I would say, to be with you, in one of the next initiatives of conferences, and we'll keep on addressing this item to Christina, also for 2024. Because we are not, we haven't set yet a conference in either North or South America in 2024 yet. But it could be very good, the one in Varginha, in Brazil, from my point of view. And it would be really very nice to do it in this way over there as well one time. I would be delighted again, and please proceed in this thinking, I would say. But Christina knows.
We'd love to have it here.
Christina knows.
Yes, now Eduardo have to work and to open this possibility, because it will be very important for our country, for our students, and for all over the world to have the life view of Brazil, because what we face today, it's quite a lot of fake news, and sometimes we don't know what is true. And coming from Brazil, we can organize this kind of conference and show what is really going on over here.
And we also need the new solutions from these new minds, because the young ones are the ones who are going to try to help us out in the future.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, this session is recorded now, Christina, so I have you on tape. It is really very nice, to be with you, in Brazil also one time with organizing a conference. Probably what I see right now is probably will we be in the same sort of scenario, organizing different conferences in 2024, smaller conferences in 2024 as well. Going back to bigger conferences is something that is maybe a little bit more in the future. I don't know exactly how this will go, but we are, of course, a little bit careful with all the experiences in the last 2 years, and the way that also a conference, you mentioned it in your earlier presentation, in Florida was canceled due to the pandemic, that is not nice for students, they're really very disappointed then if you organize something and should cancel because of this kind of reasons. But we will do the utmost and all the things that we can, to organize this again. And then if the solution will be to make a little bit smaller conferences, then so be it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Schilling, to join us today. Thank you, Professor Eduardo. Thank you, International Affairs Office from CEFET-MG to promote this week event. It's been very productive. So thank you all. I think we have a great moment, and we will be together in the near future.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully.
Thank you so much, Christina. Thank you,
Thank
Eduardo.
you.
Christina also. Thank you very much for being in this session, and we keep in touch. Yeah.
Okay, and Julio is inviting to another conference in a climate conference this year in Belo Horizonte. So I will send the information afterwards.
Okay.
And students, if you have questions, later on, you can address the questions direct to me or directly to GALESS and Professor Eduardo. I will give you all information required for you to give us the support in these challenges proposed by GALESS and the challenge of life. Thank you for your contribution, Eduardo. Thank you, Mr. Schilling, to be present together with us today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.